What's up, guys, and welcome back to Rising Thrills, your number one source for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland roller coaster content. And welcome back to day 30 of daily roller coaster reviews. In this video, I will be reviewing WILDCAT'S Revenge at Hersheypark. The history, or overall the legacy, of WILDCAT'S Revenge goes back a long time, the whole way back to 1923, when Hersheypark opened their first coaster, which was called the Joyride. This was a PTC coaster at a length of 2,331 feet and a drop of 75 feet. This ride was later changed to WILDCAT. This ride closed in 1945. The next year, Hersheypark opened Comet, which was another PTC coaster. The history of WILDCAT was forgotten for a while, until 1996, when they opened WILDCAT, which was a Great Coasters International wooden roller coaster. This was the first roller coaster ever built by Great Coasters International. This coaster was Hersheypark's first time working with this company. So Hersheypark wanted to name this ride something that would bring back memories for a lot of people. They named it WILDCAT, which was named after their old coaster, WILDCAT, which closed in 1945. WILDCAT had a length of 3,180 feet, a height of 106 feet, a drop of 85 feet, a speed of 50 miles per hour, and a G-force of 3.5 Gs, and a cost of $5 million. Riders were put into two different trains with 12 cars per train. Riders are oriented 2 across in each train for a total of 24 riders per train. WILDCAT closed in 2022. A lot of people were speculating that WILDCAT would be RMC, which it was. The old WILDCAT coaster, which opened in 1996, was known as one of the roughest coasters, so it was pretty obvious that RMC would redo it. It just was surprising how long it took Hersheypark to go with RMC. I heard something about how they first were planning to RMC WILDCAT the whole way back in 2018, and it didn't open until 2023. I think they were just in talks with them that long, but they didn't really actually put any plans in stone until 2021. WILDCAT reopened in 2023 as WILDCAT'S Revenge, which is an RMC hybrid coaster. RMC takes old wooden coasters and refurbs them into modern steel hybrid coasters. WILDCAT'S Revenge has a length of 3,510 feet, a height of 140 feet, a speed of 62 miles per hour. Riders are seated in 3 different trains with 6 cars per train. Riders are oriented 2 across in 2 rows for a total of 24 riders per train. WILDCAT has a load and unload station within the station. So first, you get on the ride, and then through the loading station, then you go on the ride, but then at the end of the ride, you come back into the unloading station. So you load and unload on the right side of the station, which means that you cannot take any of your bags or loose articles up to the station. You have to put them on a double-sided locker before you go into the station. WILDCAT'S Revenge starts out with you turning left before you go through a pre-lift part of the ride. After you go through the pre-lift part of the ride, then you start up the chain lift. Once you get to the top of the chain lift, then you go down the drop, and then you go through a step-up underflip. After you go through the step-up underflip, then you go through an airtime hill. After you go through the airtime hill, then you come through a wave turn. You kind of go through a double up into the wave turn. After you go through the wave turn, then you come through a 0G stall. After you go through the 0G stall, then you go through another wave turn before you go through a little sideways airtime, double up type of, it's definitely a really interesting type of element for a ride, and you know, not a lot of rides have an element like this. After you go through that element, then you go through a 0G roll, then you go through a little, it's not quite a wave turn, but it's almost like a wave turn. After you go through that, then you go through another 0G roll, and then you come through the final section of the ride, which is basically little dips up and down to, you know, give you some airtime, and then you come up into the brake run, which you get slammed up quite a bit when you come to the brake run, because there's like almost like an airtime moment coming into the brake run. Once you come into the brake run, then you turn to the right and you come to the unload station. So WILDCAT'S Revenge, it's honestly a fairly long ride, and you feel like you're on there for a good bit, and really, you know, of course this is a airtime focused ride, and it does give a lot of airtime and a lot of, you know, of course the wave turns, some airtime, and then of course with the 0G stall you get a good amount of hang time. I wouldn't say a ton of hang time, but you do get a good amount of it. And of course I'd say it has a good amount of inversions. Of course it has 4 inversions, which honestly that's enough. Some people might want more, but I think that's enough. And of course, you know, 2, you know, airtime moments that are like the, you know, the most, that give the most airtime. Really for the best part of the ride, there's just so many. This is one of those rides that it's just like, you know, all of the parts, all of the elements of the ride are equally as good. You know, some might be a little better, but really, I just have fun riding this whole ride. And really, this is a ride that is very marathonable, because you can just keep on riding it, and it never really gets old, just because of, you know, how much airtime it gets and how much, you know, inversions, and it really does a lot. It packs a lot into the layout, and it really was remarkable how much they were able to do with the old WILDCAT layout. So really, this is a fun ride, and a lot of people love it. It's, of course, the only RMC hybrid coaster I've been on, and it's a really fun ride, and I definitely enjoy it. When I say it's the best coaster that I've been on, yeah, honestly, it's my favorite coaster I've been on. But for WILDCAT'S Revenge, final score at Hersheypark, I'll be giving it a 10 out of 10. Yes, it is a 10 out of 10 ride, and I really enjoy it. It's definitely marathonable. It's, you know, after a while you can get tired of it, but it's really overall a fun ride, and definitely a ride that I'd recommend getting on and on again. And I have gotten a good amount of rides on it, and overall it is a fun ride. Definitely one of those rides that is really enjoyable, and I definitely enjoy it. But overall, I really enjoy WILDCAT'S Revenge at Hersheypark. For my final score for WILDCAT'S Revenge, I'll be giving it a 10 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.